Billings Beat is continuing our tour through Billings to learn about the amazing people, businesses, and organizations that add to the vibrancy of our city. I'm Neil Byer, residential realtor and founder of Alephus Real Estate Group, and today I'm at Global Village speaking with Interim Executive Director Janese Carstens to learn more about Global Village and the work they do to support low-income artisans and farmers through the operation of this fair trade retail store and the educational activities that promote the values of fair trade, tolerance, and cultural appreciation. You may know Janese from her work in the community and her popular podcast, Everyone's a Foreigner. Janese, thank you for taking the time to speak with us today. Can you provide a brief introduction of Global Village, the retail store, and the educational activities the nonprofit is involved in?
Sure. So Global Village was established in 1987 by 3 women of the Billings community who wanted to help artisans in developing parts of the world be able to live a life of dignity and provide for their families when they had no other resources, which is really the basis of fair trade in and of itself. Our mission, though, is that we're a nonprofit fair trade organization dedicated to the support of the world's low-income artisans and farmers through the operation of the retail store, as well as educational activities that promote, as you said, fair trade, tolerance, and cultural appreciation. So within the retail store itself, we have over 30 different countries.
Wow.
That are all from mostly the hemispheric south is where a lot of the concerns are, that people don't have the access to different things in the more developed parts of the world. So I say we have everything from Afghanistan to Zambia, and I can show you those items if you need. And then within the community itself, prior to COVID, there were times that I had 3 or 4 speaking gigs ready to come up. We do education. We've been working with trying to establish some sort of artistic endeavor with another artistic place here in town to be able to help kids understand that art makes a difference in the culture, and by them being able to do it and learn more about that person or what they've done for their culture, and then mimic in some way the art that that person is known for, bring it down to the store, and then we want to put it up so people can see that these are what the kids are learning.
I would imagine most of the stuff in this store is environmentally friendly.
Yes.
And I mean, maybe multiple ways.
Yes. So the sustainability in the wood, a lot of recycled items. So the elephant on your shoulder there is actually made from a 55-gallon drum.
Wow.
From Haiti that was flattened out. They have these cardboard templates that they draw on them once it's flattened out, and then they kind of tin snip it around, and then they start going through and making it malleable and putting the design. So if you actually flip that over, you'll see the indents that were made with chisels.
Wow. And
hammers by hand. And there's a city in Haiti, it's known for the clanging of this musical sounds of the metal, because that's like the epicenter for the Haitian metal.
And I think you mentioned these baskets below here are recycled as well.
They are. So this one is actually recycled denim, and this one's from the Philippines. And then these are recycled saris from Bangladesh.
How cool.
And they're actually wrapped around, and you can feel it, they're wrapped around grasses.
And that's so cool because, I mean, if these are recycled saris, I mean, these saris have been to places, one, we can imagine, but 2, I mean, they're part of a person's life somewhere.
Exactly.
It's lived a life before this basket, which is extraordinary when you kind of think about it, right? Absolutely.
And that's the great thing about it is they're taking these scraps that people would just, throw away and just not really care about and reuse it. And so a lot of people make their own fabric books and things like that because there's a story to each page.
Right.
Like you said, each basket, this is its at least 2nd or 3rd life.
Yeah. And you talked about it a little bit, but can you elaborate a little more about what exactly fair trade is? What is the concept?
Fair trade means a fair wage. So, for example, if you buy a baseball hat, and let's say it's at a sporting goods store, that hat was probably made by a factory worker who had no insurance. If they got hurt on the job, they would lose their job and livelihood. They were probably paid a penny for every hat that they made that day, and that's an American penny. When it comes to import into the United States, the hat is worth about $1.25. Right. and then you buy it on the shelf for $20. So instead, the item behind you, like that fish, is $26, and the artisan tells us how much they want per item, because that is their time, that's materials, that's the labor, to get that. That's them saying, this is how much this value is, and this is how much you can pay me for it.
Right.
Rather than the factory worker
Right.
who just wants a job and is just trying to
Right.
do things, and they don't get paid first.
Right.
They get paid last.
Right.
So that's the biggest difference within fair trade itself, because you know that those people are part of the conversation of what things cost.
You know, Global Village, I think, does so much more than what than the storefront. You know, and is there something, one thing, maybe more than one thing that people don't know about Global Village that you'd like to share?
We're here.
Yeah.
You know, quite honestly, how many people have been to Soup and Such next door or to Velvet Cravings, and there hasn't been this, oh, I need to go in there, and what's this about? And so we're making a concerted effort to be more visible within the community itself, as well as opportunities. We're looking at a few different ways to educate and create a pipeline of education for youth here, as well as for other generations, to help them know that. There's so many opportunities to partner, like I said, with the recycling and with being against child labor.
Working here, have you become more aware of child labor
Issues.
the
Yeah.
numbers, you know, the statistics, the data?
I can't take them right off the top of my head,
Right.
but definitely, I've definitely been more on the United Nations websites and all the things that they're doing in so many different ways with education and with child human rights, and that I still have a lot to learn.
The numbers are huge,
For sure.
though, right?
Oh.
I mean, they're huge.
Yes,
I mean,
you're
beyond
100
what we
millions.
can comprehend.
Yeah. Right now, I think it's 130 million women in the world, girls, who don't have access to education.
Right.
Like, access. Their culture won't let them, or physically, geographically, financially, they just don't have the access.
What has surprised you most about working here, about being a director here?
So to think about how many of these items are here that are all done by a human, and they're doing it so that they can live, where for me that's a hobby.
Right.
You know, if you really sit in that information for a little bit, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
I mean, it means so much more to purchase something here than to purchase something at Walmart.
Yep.
You know, not only the blood, sweat, and tears that go behind making these handcrafts, but the story behind them, right? I mean, there's a story behind every product here. There was someone on the other side of the world somewhere that made these goods, you know, these art crafts, and just to think about that is mind blowing.
Exactly. Yeah. The one thing when I first started is I kept saying, you know, we provide local access to a global impact. To know that even here in Billings, Montana, you can buy, you know, your elephant behind you, and that is helping a Haitian family because of that purchase. You're never probably going to go to Haiti, but you're making an impact there.
Right.
So there are people, lives are impacted in this store from these purchases, and you may never meet them, but you're helping change family trees and cultures and economic societies that you may never have had the opportunity to as an individual otherwise.
How do people get on the newsletter mailing list?
So it's on our website. So that's globalvillagebillings.org, or Facebook. There's a sign up on our newsletter on our Facebook page, which is also at Global Village Billings, as well as Instagram is at Global Village Billings.
And aside from actually coming here and shopping here,
Yeah.
are there other ways people can support what you're doing or help out?
Yes, because we're a nonprofit, so we're a mission with a business. We do have the opportunity to do donations. We can do monthly recurring donations, one-time donations, as well as we'll do yearly fundraisers. We have a couple scheduled, not officially quite yet, but for May and June coming up. So if you want to know more about those, and what opportunities there are to learn more about fair trade, as well as the partnerships that we hope to make throughout the community.
Janese, thank you so much for taking the time to
Neil.
speak with me. And Global Village, if you have not been here, come on down. Walking around here, they have some amazing, amazing things that, you know, if I could easily spend a lot of money here and get some great products and bring them back to my family. So please check it out. Come by downtown. The address is
2720 3rd Avenue North. So we're just south of the U.S. Bank Building, between Soup and Such and Velvet Cravings.
So if you haven't been here, even if you have, come down, support what they're doing, because it's fantastic work, and it benefits not only the artisan families around the world, but also the environment and the world. So come out and help out. With that, thank you so much. This is Neil Byer, Billings Beat, Alephus Real Estate Group. We'll see you next time. Cheers.